What is up, everyone? OJ over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to my village where you PNs can come get all your latest Nintendo Switch and gaming news. So let's go ahead and get right into this one, guys. So Super Bomberman R will run at 30 frames per second. As mentioned before, it will be running on the Unity engine and has online lobbies. So here are the details. Runs at 30 frames per second, runs at the Nintendo Switch's full resolution in each mode. So in portable mode, it will run at 720p native. Then in dock mode, it will run at 1080p native. The online will be for battle mode only. The cooperative story mode will not be available online, only locally. The online will utilize matchmaking through lobbies, and you can connect with random opponents, and you can also connect with friends. So there will be friend battles and random opponents. It doesn't seem like there's going to be any options, at least at this point, for voice chat built in. And of course, Nintendo doesn't have their app put together yet. So any games that do come out this early, voice chat would have to be built into the game. And the developers over at Konami decided not to do that. So it's unfortunate, and there's no peer-to-peer voice chat support at the beginning, but I do wish that it did have that built into the OS level. Hopefully Nintendo will add that in the future pretty soon, and I know that they're still working on their smartphone app thing, so we'll see how that works out. Now, moving on to the next article here, we have Circle. They are localizing the music rhythm game Voez in North America and in Europe. But what's interesting about this game that I haven't reported on is that this game can only be played in portable mode. When you dock it, it can't be played since it makes use of the Nintendo Switch touchscreen. So Circle has confirmed that they will be bringing Voez to North America and to Europe, and the game will be a launch title in Japan, but we don't know when it'll be launching here in North America or in Europe. And once again, like I said, it is the first game to just be able to play in portable mode only. You cannot play in TV mode because it does utilize the touchscreen for that. So this kind of makes me think a little bit about what Nintendo's trying to do with this system, and it just pretty much more points to a replacement to the Nintendo 3DS and to the Nintendo Wii U. Obviously, Nintendo's not officially saying that. They still have games coming out for the Nintendo 3DS, but the fact that they are letting people just put games as in just portable only shows that, yeah, Nintendo is completely fine with this being just a portable for some games. If people want to implement TV modes, they can. If they don't, they don't. But I do think that Nintendo has to basically make it to where it can be played in portable mode. So I don't think you can do it vice versa. I don't think you can have a game that only runs in TV mode and doesn't run in portable mode. I think Nintendo has pretty much stated, well, you can have a game that only runs in portable mode, but not in TV mode. But there might be some more things. I don't know. I'm just taking a little guess at it. But I think the fact that it uses the touchscreen probably might be a factor into the whole thing, because if they're not going to program in button controls, and the game is a smartphone game, this is a smartphone port, straight up smartphone port, although it will have some more content that the smartphone game doesn't have, some new and exclusive content for Nintendo Switch. So I think they're just probably saying, well, it is a touchscreen game, that's how it's best played, is through touchscreen, so okay, you guys can do portable mode only. Although I would have liked for them to actually put in button controls as well, because you could just press different buttons to be the corresponding thing. I don't think it's very hard. Many rhythm games have done that before, so I do feel that they should have put in button controls as well. I think it would have had a bigger reach, and I might have got it if it did so, because I don't like touchscreen controls for like music rhythm games. That's just personally me, but hey, it is what it is. From what I've heard, this game is actually pretty good. I've listened to the music, and the music is pretty good in it. I actually played a sample track one time when I talked about it before in the first video that I did. So yeah, pretty cool stuff there. Let me know what you guys think about Voez and the fact that Nintendo is allowing games to be in portable mode only. Alright, and for our last story here, Shigeru Miyamoto and Aonuma-san are training Nintendo's next generation as far as what to do, how to develop games, how to go about yourself. This was a fantastic video that they did, and I'll go ahead and read the bullet points off to you guys. So Miyamoto says that game design has two different aspects: building the core and then the decorative exterior design. Miyamoto says that older devs can't keep up with the decorative design, so they have the younger folks to take that on. If the younger generation takes on all that work, they tend to follow the current trends or what everyone else is doing. This is why it's important for both generations to work together. Aonuma-san believes that the younger generations are a bit more serious in some ways, which causes them to get lost. The older generation goes on instinct, and they teach the younger generation to trust instinct and go with the flow. The philosophy of Nintendo has always been to be unique and different. They don't try to compete with the current trends or fads. Miyamoto tells the younger devs to think seriously about what they want to make. Aonuma wants younger generations to use older generations' point of view for reference. Whenever Aonuma finishes a game and shows it to Miyamoto, he gets unexpected comments he could never have envisioned. these lead to new ideas. Incorporating those unexpected comments to create new ideas is important to Nintendo. So this is just full of fantastic information that I definitely want to talk about here. So one of the things about Nintendo that's very unique is that they do have that blend of old and new design, old and new staff that are working together to create games, working together to make games. I think with the Wii U, what you saw is that you saw the old staff really just kind of have its last hurrah. Not fully. Obviously, Nintendo had old staff and new staff working with Wii U, working with Wii. But at the same time, I think that's where Nintendo really said, okay, it's time to really put in ignition like the new staff when it comes to the Nintendo Switch. Because the Wii U, yes, it had some great games. Obviously, there was some good stuff, but it seemed to me like at times they didn't necessarily embrace that younger staff as much in order to get the decorative exterior design, especially with the console. So I do feel that letting some of the younger guys get into there and help out with the console, in addition to Miyamoto basically, I wouldn't say stepping aside, but he's really not what I think Koizumi-san and Takahashi, like basically the Takahashi, I think he's the one who heads up all the game development. Miyamoto used to do that, and Miyamoto is not doing that now. He's the creative fellow there. So passing the torch and letting these guys kind of take over a bit more, doing stuff like ARMS and doing stuff that's really going to create new experiences, but have some of that old school touch and flair. I guarantee you guys, if ARMS was a game that came out on the Wii U this early in its lifespan, so we're talking 2 to 3 months after launch, I guarantee you it wouldn't have online play. I guarantee you that's something that the new generation, the younger generation probably wanted to have in there. Nintendo came out with so many games in their first however many months that just didn't have online play, that were multiplayer, and you're seeing with the newer generation that they're thinking about those things and they're implementing those things because they know that's kind of what today's gamers want. But then you see the touch of the old school gamers as well. You see that flair. A lot of the younger staff worked on Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but then you see Aonuma-san and Miyamoto and some of their ideas creeping up and some of their creativity. So I think Nintendo, out of all these companies, has some of the best balance, if not the best balance, between the old and younger staff at this point. You can see that with the Nintendo Switch. The system, which we have to 100% give credit to the late Satoru Iwata, but also Kimishima-san, everyone that made this system possible when it comes to the business aspect and when it comes to the actual design aspect and the thought of it. But you saw Nintendo's younger developers and everyone at Nintendo really come together to make an idea, to make something possible that really couldn't have been possible with them separated. I think with Nintendo's just older staff, I don't think you'd see some of the stuff that we're seeing with the Nintendo Switch, some of the innovations that they're doing. Then with the younger staff, I don't think you'd see some of the games and some of the things that are added into some of these newer games to make them feel good and make them feel playable for the old school gamers out there. And I would also say that Nintendo's older staff probably reached out to Konami to get something like Super Bomberman on there. So I think that there is a lot of stuff that both sides are learning from each other, and I think the Switch is probably going to be the first system that has that perfect harmony between the two, just because of the games that you're seeing, because of the creativeness. Look at the stuff that we're seeing, guys. Look at the stuff that we're seeing in year one. You're seeing some of the creativeness when it comes to the design of the system and when it comes to the actual gameplay that you probably just would have never seen. ARMS, I mentioned that. Obviously, we have Mario Kart coming through. We have the 2 items back in that. I mean, whose idea was it to bring back that? So that could have been one of the older staffs. Like, hey, you know, Mario Kart used to have 2 items in there. You guys might want to bring that back and maybe just not have it towards just 1 item. So you never know who kind of put that in there, who said, okay, let's try this. I mean, heck, even like 1-2 Switch was made by some of their youngest developers. So you're looking at all the different things Nintendo's doing. You're looking at some of the ideas, and you're seeing some of the stuff that they said, hey, we need to make sure we get stuff like this out, like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which I still feel is going to be a 2017 game because of what happened last generation with Xenoblade Chronicles X. Nintendo's not trying to repeat that, and I think that the game, as far as what that is being built on, which I heard in a podcast, I think it was with Red Knight. Yeah, I think he said that looks like it's Unreal Engine, or was that Miza T? One of those two said that looks like it might be an Unreal Engine game, and I think so. After looking at the models and looking at the game, I think it also might be an Unreal Engine game or a heavily modified Unreal Engine game. So that's why I feel, with all those tools already built and Nintendo already saying that they've mastered those type of tools, I honestly feel that that game is going to launch in 2017, and that the younger and the older generation, which Monolith Soft is more of the old and the new, they're adding new people, really came together to build this type of game and saying gamers need this now, not wait. Let's not wait 3-4 years. They want this now. But I think it crosses over not only with the game design like they talked about here, but also the design of the Switch, game release lineup and just seeing what's going on. I love the fact that they said that they're not just following trends and fads in the marketplace, because that's something that I've seen so much with gaming. Like right now I'm playing Gears of War 4, and there is every single trend and fad that you can think of when it comes to the progression in game design. Not only that, but that game is like ripped straight from like Mass Effect 2, some of the plot points and even some of like the scenes as far as what goes on, just because Mass Effect 2 is really popular. So I mean, it's one of those things to where I like the fact that they're not doing that. I like the fact that they're trying to be unique and innovative. That's cool. But at the same time, I feel that they're saying, okay, there are things that some of these other people are doing that we could do too, or that we could approve upon. So it's going to be really cool to see this Nintendo Switch in like full action when we actually get the full lineup of games, probably in the fall once Mario drops, which we could talk about Mario for a whole another 5 minutes based on what they're doing with that game and how innovative and how it looks, and the old and the new with that one. There's just so much stuff to talk about. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about this. I thought this was a fantastic video, and I feel that it perfectly fits what the Nintendo Switch is. Such a combination of old school and new ideas put into something that just really appeals to anyone from when you're a kid all the way to someone in their maybe 30s or 40s or even higher. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and hit that like button if you did like it. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you PE Ninjas for the next video. Peace.